It's time to tune in. Reno got the stats and the info. Rockin' with Flem and be better. That's my kinfolk. We got everything you need and some more. Reporting live with the sports. It's time for Uproar.
Welcome to another show of Uproar Radio. We're going a little late this today than our normal time, but we had to push the time back for our very special guest, man. As always, you're live here in the 1912 studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Today's episode, we have a very, very special guest, none other than the great Cecil Newton Jr., man, one of my dogs, one of my classmates who came in with me at Tennessee State, man. Like, we're going to have some good fun, man. We're gonna talk all things, him coming into Tennessee State, his time post-Tennessee State, and then a lot of the success that he's had life after football. He's going to share some good wisdom on that, man, as well, too, man. But most of all, man, Cecil, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man. Good to be on with a couple of ex-teammates. Love you, brothers, man. Big Flem, man. Pleasure to meet you again, good brother, man. Appreciate y'all having me.
Already.
Yeah, thank you. Glad you're here, brother.
Welcome to Uproar. Reno got an intro and everything. You got an intro and everything.
Hey, that reminds me of Coach Webster's. Roar.
That's why. Look. I already knew you.
Cecil, tell him this, man. Like, and this is an inside thing, right? You know, when we was in school, man, like, what was the one thing we could always count on every morning when we was roommates?
Oh yeah, man. Definitely, we were gonna get waking up, man. My dad was gonna call me Cecil Senior.
Yeah,
Cecil Senior was gonna definitely he was gonna call us about 5 minutes earlier than what our wake up call would be. So we were supposed to be up at 6:30. Yeah, Pops was gonna give us a call, man, at about 6:20, 6:25, faithfully every day. Every day. You remember that, man, bro?
Yes, every time, y'all, man. Like, literally, Cecil could be going to the shower, and I know I hear that phone ring, and I'm like, let me go ahead and answer so he don't think he's asleep. So I pick the phone was up, Pop. He's like, y'all boys up? Yeah, we up.
Yeah,
all right. Where that boy at? I'm like, he in the shower, Cop. So that's what we do, man.
Bro, I never knew that. I never heard that story.
Yeah, man. You know what, man?
It say a lot. It say a lot about your daddy, bro.
Yo, absolutely.
I never heard of that. I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, man, you know what? They call him the neighborhood coach, man. So he's been pivotal, obviously, in my life, man, and to my success, especially, man, from a sports standpoint, man. Again, man, he failure wasn't an option when it came to him, and he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that, myself and my brothers, that we were always in place. We never had an excuse not to be great. Never had an excuse, not to be or not to put our best foot forward. So shout out to my dad, man, who still, man. Yeah, he's still
some footage of him too.
Yeah, he's still around here, man, still doing the same thing. We're trying to keep him as busy as possible, man, so we don't have to get those early morning wake up calls.
Definitely, man. Well, shoot, man, let's get into it, man. For me, it was, I want to really get into your process of coming into Tennessee State, man. And I really want you to share this story about how you got to Tennessee State, man. Because a lot of times you're like many of the great players that have come to Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
And how you got there was always not the traditional way, if that makes sense. And
right.
And more than earned your dollars eventually as well, too, man. So let's get in there, man. Let's talk about that story of, how you got connected to Tennessee State.
Well, coming out of Westlake High School, I really wasn't highly recruited. Westlake was it still is, a prestige high school with that puts out talent all across the country. And me kind of coming out, man, I kind of became one of the ones that was kind of on the back burner. Because I mean, my senior year, we had 4 other offensive linemen that went Division 1A. I was the smaller out of our starting 5. But again, I mean, I took the opportunity when I saw coaches like Randy Fuller, who actually came to visit Westlake back in senior year, and some kind of way, he and my father had connected, and my dad did his due diligence in terms of trying to send my film out to TSU.
Shout out to Coach Fuller.
Say it again.
Shout out to Coach Fuller.
Yeah, Coach Fuller, man. Yeah, shout out, Coach. And once I realized I wasn't really highly recruited. I didn't really have many offers. But one thing I did know, I wanted to kind of stay closer to home. So I ended up just actually walking on. Make a long story short, I ended up walking on at Tennessee State, which probably was one of the best decisions that I have ever made in my life. Was to actually just take that walk-on opportunity, man. And I went out and made the best of it. Eventually became a scholar athlete at Tennessee State. But yeah, I actually walked on. Reno was my roommate. Shout out Reno, being the worst roommate I ever had. But it was dope, man. All 4 of my years being there, man. When I got there, man, I kind of put my best foot forward and made sure I focused on the common goal. My initial goal was to end up being on scholarship, which came on later on in a few years down the road. But yeah, it was interesting, becoming a 4-year starter, walk on, and ultimately just wanted to be a leader for my team, man. You guys know, I put it all out there on the field, as we all did. We just wanted to make sure that we did, and we represented Tennessee State well. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I took pride with doing that. Whether I was a scholar athlete or just a walk on, I always wanted to make sure that I was representing my university, and I carried that on throughout my professional career.
Bro, I never knew you was a walk-on, bro.
You didn't?
Bro, I was a walk-on. So that's why we was like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And I remember when you came in too, man, it was that room was deep. And for you to be able to sustain and stay, and get a roster spot and stay with the team, man, that was a deep room, man, that you was in that DB room, man.
Look,
so shout out to you
Cecil
for
was
that,
the first one to shout me out, man. We was playing Murray State. I got to start that week 2. I made a little play. First person dapped me up with Cecil. I'll never forget it, bro.
Hey,
he's
absolutely,
like,
bro.
You can hang now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, playmakers, baby. Playmakers.
That's what's up, bro. I never knew that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Definitely, man. Good stuff, man. So, yeah, man, for me, that was the most important thing. And as I said, man, and, you being a 4-year starter, starting as a walk-on, eventually earning a scholarship. And keep in mind, never missed a start in 4 years.
No, tell the story. You gotta tell the story.
Yeah.
The one play.
Oh yeah. I missed
I
one.
didn't want to bring it up,
man. I did not want to
when I found out, I was pissed.
Yeah, we all was.
Coach
man, that was actually Jackson State. I think that was
Jacksonville. It was Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State. And man, we were on a playoff push, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And man, I don't really recall what exactly happened, man, to where maybe you do, Reno, what happened with Coach Webster.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Screw this. You're gonna miss the very first play of this game.
Yeah.
We don't care about personal accolades and personal this and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, man. And I got a lot of respect for Coach Webster, but I still like to say that I still, I started all 4 years, never missed a snap, aside from that one play because of a disciplinary action.
Yeah.
That I think that we all thought it was kind of a petty situation.
Everybody did, yeah.
Being in the position that we were as a team, I thought it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I think we still came out with the win on that game.
Big win. You was doing angels in the field, in the end zone.
Yeah, in the end zone. Yeah,
you was in the end zone doing the snow angels.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a big one, man.
That was a big
game, man. But yeah, 4-year starter, man. Never missed a snap aside for that one particular play that coach decided to
flex.
Make me go ahead and just take the bench for one play.
Flem, you know how coaches be trying to, maybe he's trying to get the team, get
Come on, Flem. Step in, Coach Flem. Tell us. You
trying to make an example out of the 4-year starter.
In the wrong time,
trying to make an example out of the 4-year starter.
Yeah, well, I remember Cecil as a player. And what caught me right away when he went to center is that he will be blocking folks down the field. And I'm sitting here like, how did he get down there? You know what I mean? He was a center that snapped the ball, that did the combo block, and kept rising to the next level till he could find something else to put his hands on. You know what I mean? And it really changed our offense. It changed the style of offense. I mean, you got a guy that can run that zone system. You know what I'm saying? You were, he looked just like Boone, had, looked like he was a little guy out there with the spat on and
wristbands,
wristbands, and
you
see him coming out of the locker room, and you like, okay, all right, we got something here. So I remember that play, and I was always blown, impressed. With that effort, because that becomes contagious, for others. You know what I mean? You never loafed on the football field. And that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's our mentality. And that's all it really was, man. I kind of, and then Coach Russ Arnfield and, all offensive coaches, offensive line coaches are pretty much always going to be the most intense coaches on the team typically. But yeah, it was just really, like you said, it was effort, man. I just wanted to make sure I put my best effort out there, man. And then, these guys, Brandon and Reno, will tell you, I wasn't really too focused on blocking the nose guard. Blocking the nose guard was too easy for me. I want to get up there and block the safety. When my running back break free, he gone. I'm out here doing my job. I like to go above and beyond the call of action. And a lot of times my coaches would get on me about that, because, a lot of times, but I knew that my teammates, my offensive line, they already knew once we get this front line, once we get this D line moving, we got to keep on moving down the field. We got to get down the field and block on the next level. And that's one of the things that I still to this day, I like to teach a lot of these kids that I mentor, offensive linemen and D linemen. It's always about the effort. And don't just do just enough on the play just to get by, just to get through the play. Try to. One of my biggest things was I always wanted to end up on film because I look good. If I look good, I want you to see me. Mm-hmm. And so when I was out there, man, I was balling, and that was just one of the biggest things that, that I prioritized when I played, man. I just wanted to just, play with intensity and play with great effort.
Flem, that team was one of the most stacked teams. If you go back and look at it, from NFL talent to wins, we lost an overseas championship against the EKU. We had a lot of injuries. Right. But that team, I still got that team picture. It's about 10 people on that team that played in the league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So see, tell me this, man. Did you always come in with that supreme confidence? I imagine so. Or what was that moment early on in your college career that said, yeah, I'm gonna figure this thing out, or I'm gonna get this thing going. I got it. Was there a moment or moments that led to that?
Well, really, it was just more so the drive for me wanting to get it. Really, just all started with me wanting to earn a scholarship. That was my initial drive. I just didn't want to be on the team and then be on the bench.
Yeah. So
obviously, I wanted to come in and I wanted to impress my coaches and my teammates enough to where I would be, a starter. If not a day one starter, I at least wanted to be the backup. And not only wanted to play center, I came in, wanted to play center, offensive guard, tackle. I was small enough to play tight end. So I just really wanted to do whatever it took for me to get on the field. I think my confidence built as, I began to win the little personal accolades like all OVC. Just getting the respect from my teammates, being a walk-on. We had a lot of guys, man. We had some great talent on that team, man. And for them to embrace me and just kind of a lot of them were grabbing me by the shoulder and just telling me look, bro, you got the opportunity, man, to be great. And you got all the skills and all the ability to be a leader on this team. And so with that, and my coaches kind of, just being in my ear, man, and just keeping me focused, that was one of the main key ingredients for me to just, stay hungry, and it gave me a common goal.
Yeah. Move, man. Look here, man. I'll like I said, let's keep this thing rolling here. So I want to now transition into.
All right, go ahead, Reno.
Did you have one?
No, stay on script. I got some off script questions, but
Go ahead.
Hey, let's do it.
So for one thing, I would say, break down Coach Losi and how important he was in your career.
Oh man, Losi. Shout out Coach Losi, man. So crazy as it sounds, Coach Losi was one of the biggest pain in my behind. But it didn't really dawn on me at the time. But I think Losi saw the potential in me. But it was, with me, it wasn't good enough for me to just, run offensive line times when we were doing gashes or doing 110s. And he always pushed me to where I needed to run with the big skill,
Combos,
tight end combos. So, if I was finishing in the time that, that would be a typical time for the offensive lineman, that wasn't good enough for Coach Losi. So
it might not count the rep.
Yeah, might not count the rep at all. And then I think with Losi, man, Losi used to pick at me a little bit, man, with my name, Cecil. Even though he knew I hated that, but he had his way of poking the bear, so to speak. But he always kind of kept me in tune and kept me focused on, I definitely got to get I got to make it on another level to where I got to hurry up and get out of here. Being in college, everybody knows how college is the funnest time of your life, but it also is one of the biggest learning curves, from an introductory level from being a boy to a man. And I think coming in, man, just dealing with people like Coach Losi, who always, I think he always had my best interest. Coach Losi definitely was one of those ones who helped push me to that next level.
And he did. I think, Coach Losi, not knowing, like looking back as a coach now and seeing, like I said, that team was stacked with NFL talent. Mm-hmm. He groomed a lot of that talent, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. He did.
He built a lot of, from you, Booby, to, Veen, Dominique, everybody.
Lou, yeah. And then it really kind of started in the weight room. I mean, a lot of times you as a man, you get broken down, and that's why all your blood, your sweat, and your tears, are put out there. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Losi was there to withstand. To see all of that. Through all of the players that came through that locker room. Coach Losi didn't have his picks. Obviously, man, if you wasn't serious about putting in the work, he definitely wasn't gonna mess with you at all, and that wasn't a good feeling. You would almost rather Coach Losi be on your ass than not say nothing to you at all. You already knew he was one of those types of coaches where if coach stopped coaching you in that gym and in that weight room, you're not getting better, and it's not being reported to your position coach that you getting stronger. You're not making weight. You're not making your times and your speed. So that was one of the things, man. Yeah, Coach Losi definitely played a pivotal role in that.
All right, go ahead, Flem. I got one more, Flem.
All right, that was it.
Yeah. All right. There's a big rumor, Cecil.
Mm-hmm.
A big rumor that Tennessee State could have had 2 Newtons. Could you give us that story, please, for the internet?
So it was one of those types of deals, man, where it was kind of it was a little teaser. Obviously, we all know Cam being my brother, coming out of high school with me already being at Tennessee State. He was definitely being recruited by Tennessee State. They definitely wanted Cam, but Cam just never did really. He was never really given the opportunity to even consider HBCUs. Let me just be perfectly honest about that. Cam was receiving big major D1 college scholarships or offers, when he was a sophomore in high school. But one of the stories I like to always tell people is, he really was one of the better talents that came out of high school, and he decided to go to Florida. And we all know the history behind Cam and what happened with Florida, and then going from Florida going to Blinn. To Tennessee, going to Auburn after that, after winning, multiple national championships on different levels. But I think, Cam definitely had the heart. He has the pizzazz and the wherewithal to definitely would have came to Tennessee State, man. But it was definitely rumored. Tennessee State never did officially offer my brother Cam.
So I'm saying, Flem.
Yeah, they never did really offer him, man. But Cam actually came. He did come on a visit.
Yeah.
He came on a visit during our. It was a homecoming game.
Right?
Y'all remember he was on the sidelines.
Tell that story, yeah.
Yeah, so it was. And it was kind of crazy because we had Hefner who had also transferred from South Carolina, and it was kind of crazy. So they're watching this kid come from high school on a visit, and Cam was actually bigger than every quarterback in our room at the time. Yep. So, the coaches on the sideline were kind of, they're looking at this kid. They're not really knowing. At the time, they didn't really know exactly who Cam was on a broader scale, man. But Yeah, that's pretty funny. He definitely came in, man. We know he came in the homecoming last week, man. He really enjoyed it, man. Cam always supported, both me and my other brother, who actually is a Howard graduate, Kalen. Shout out Tennessee State for whooping Howard last week.
Did we offer Kalen? Did we offer Kalen?
They didn't offer Kalen.
See what I'm
either.
saying? This is what I'm saying.
They didn't offer Kalen either, man.
No, come on, man.
Come
on.
And we tried, and we actually tried, man. We called Coach Reed. Coach Reed was actually the head coach at the time when Kalen was coming out, and we were trying to get Kalen. We were trying to get them to at least just come and give Kalen a visit, like come and check him out, come catch him, man. But nah, they didn't. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
See what I'm saying?
Reno, do your job, Reno.
Yeah, golly. I mean,
man,
we are reporting live from Uproar Radio. And I just heard that Tennessee State, after the career that you had, Cecil.
Mm-hmm. Professional player.
Yeah,
walk on to the pros.
All the way to the end. Family is phenomenal. Dad is great. And Cam was around the corner.
Yeah, man. He definitely walked campus a couple of times, but that was just, on the strength of him coming to hang out with Reno, man. He put that call in. Reno put that call in, man. Hey, man, we need Cam on campus, man. So, Reno the one with the keys, man. So we go through Mr. Reno Thompson.
I heard Webb said we didn't need Cam. I heard they said
man.
Cam came up, when the stuff happened at Florida between Florida and Blinn.
Mm-hmm.
He came up for like a week, and they said Webb didn't want him.
Yeah. Obviously, man, it is history at this point, but we all know Webb had his eyes on his particular players that he wanted to transfer in. That he obviously wanted to come in and start from grassroots, redshirt freshmen, and then so on and so forth, just to kind of go through his systems, man. But it's the rest is history. Cam went on to do what he's doing now.
All y'all did.
Absolutely.
Shout out to your pops, bro. I'm a dad now. I just had my first son. I ain't sent you a picture yet.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
So
congratulations on that.
It's all tying in, like.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, big ups, man. Big ups. Big congratulations on that, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
So Flem, take us on. Flem, take us on.
Tell us this. All right, so we talk about the Tiger life. All right. Then what happened after you left? After you graduated, did you go to the league? Tell us about that and tell us about what's going on with you now. As everybody has to become professional. Yeah. This might not be football for the rest of your life. So what you got going? Talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. So when I left Tennessee State, man, I started getting recruited and being scouted, which was actually kind of it was surprising to me, but being scouted and starting to have, scouts come on campus and saying that they want to see my film and do these types of things, that was I'll be lying if I tell you that I was expecting that. Coming from HBCUs to have, scouts to come and scout you, that's a pretty big deal. Shout out to Dominique Rogers-Camardi, man, my big dog, man, who definitely paved the way for, a lot of us who came in, with me coming in to TSU with Dominique. And, a lot of the other players, man, that we actually came in. We didn't transfer into TSU. We started at TSU. And that's one of my biggest prizes, man, and things that I'm proud of is that, I started at TSU, finished, and I went on, was given the opportunity to play in the NFL for about 4 years. And, started out, with Jacksonville, and my career ended in Baltimore. And then, life after football, a few injuries, man, it catches up to you. But, the bill still got to be paid. And a lot of things that I like to tell a lot of these guys, man, obviously going through our foundation and our football program with the 7-on-7s and stuff like that. I tell these guys, man, look, don't just focus on the football. Don't just focus on the sports. You got to be able to use your brains in other areas in life, man. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to focus on with my career coming from TSU, my economics degree and business acumen that I had developed just kind of just being, under my dad, just growing up and obviously being a college grad, man. I just wanted to be able to take that and make an opportunity for myself after football. That being said, my brother and I started to invest a lot of our monies into real estate. and started buying, you know, a lot of homes and rental properties and housing developments for some of the city of Atlanta, for a lot of the low income people that live here in the city. Took that and then kind of graduated from just doing just residential to, you know, I wanted to get into doing restaurants and stuff like that, thing of that sort. So Cam and I started Fellowship Cigar Lounge back in 2019. And that's been keeping me busy for the most part, man. Just, you know, owning and operating these restaurants, man. It'll cause you to start to get some gray hairs all in your beard and in your head, man. But hey, it's life. You know what I'm saying?
How's that going? How's that going?
It's going, man. It's going really good, man. Obviously, man, the restaurant industry is pretty tough. But man, we're blessed, man. We're blessed with a lot of our people and our support here in Atlanta. So we're still able to pay the bills. We're still able to move on and do other things, man. We actually really recently just started another lounge / restaurant here in the city of Atlanta, man. So the support is big. You know, my focus right now, man, is obviously just family, man. A father of 3 kids. You know, trying to be the best husband to my wife, who's also a Tennessee State grad. Yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much life, man. You know, I try to stay out of the way, but also try to just create and still be a positive impact in my community. You know, a lot of times, you know, I joke around a lot of times with Bradford, but you know, it's a big deal, man, trying to stay in a lot of these kids' lives, man, what we do. On football is really a lot. It's the only way for a lot of these guys, a lot of these kids. Hell, we even played with guys, man, who didn't know anything other than playing football. And you know, and life after football, it just became a struggle for those guys, man, because that was all that they knew, man. So I was really just blessed, man, with the mindset and the mind frame and the support backing me, man, to be able to focus on something else after football, being able to kind of gain a few dollars to be able to kind of support my family doing after football. So the restaurants are running, they're operating, they're doing well, man. We're still expanding and doing other things, man. Hopefully, one of my bigger goals, man, is I definitely want to open something in Nashville, man, in the near future, sooner than later. So.
Okay. So why did you name it Fellowship? I've actually been down to the cigar bar. I enjoyed myself. Okay. A few years back, I've been down there, you know.
That's what's up.
Had a good time.
Yeah, it was really our, you know, our spiritual background, you know, with Cam and I and you know, my family, my father being a pastor for, you know, all of my life. You know, we grew up in the church, and we kind of just took that opportunity to just kind of create our own spinoff. Instead of it being Fellowship, you know, we want to create a haven for, you know, guys, the professional guys, or, you know, whoever want to, you know, who smoke cigars, you know, leave the golf course or leave your job or leave, you know, wherever you are doing whatever you do, to come to a space, man, where, you know, the fellas can hang out. So that's really kind of how we kind of just tied it together, man. We really just wanted to just to be, you know, a brotherly fellowship atmosphere. And we kind of just combined the two, man, and just created our own name, Fellowship. And, you know, it's history.
Awesome.
Definitely, man. You know, I want to keep this thing rolling. And again, I know you got to cut because you got to get on to your next one. But for me, you know, and I'm sorry, I lost my questions here. There we go. All right. So for me, it was more so about, you know, you got the Fellowship and you're turning that business, right? And you just talked about this one 309 Social. But
I'm proud to see one in the 7 all the kids,
right? All of that good stuff.
Yeah.
So what I really want to hear from you, and this is something that I want to be able to clip and give to just the word out there. But you know, as you prepare for life after football, right? You know, as you said it a little bit earlier, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to end at some point, whether you play 12 years professionally in your sport or 0 years, right? There's always a next step, man. And just, you know, how do you help those folks that you talk to, whether you mentor them consistently or just as one-offs? Like, you know, what are you sharing with them to keep them to understand that it's always the next step, and you know, your visions and your passions, you know, to live in that? Because to me, I see that's what you've done with, you know, your businesses, you and your brother's business. What y'all do is like you're living in your passions anyway, so you're having fun. Yeah.
So one of the biggest things in the way we were raised is just always just again, it's always putting effort. Put your best foot forward in whatever it is you do. And I always just kind of just have this characteristic that I like to serve, and I like to give wisdom. I don't like to withhold information from the younger generation or the guys that's coming up behind us. I think that's important, and I think it really starts with guys like us. Us four that's really right here on this podcast, man. We don't. A lot of times you don't have to be a Cecil Newton or Cam Newton or Dominique Rodgers-Camardi or Anthony Levine. Some of these professional athletes that you don't have to be a professional athlete just to be able to render support. Or a lot of times I tell like my son a lot, with his football coach, it's the smallest things that a coach can do that or say to a kid that kid can carry that and use that for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things that one of my coaches and my dad used to always tell me, man, it's like you can't receive something for nothing. If you're expecting to be a starter on the football team or your basketball team, that coach not going to just give it to you. You got to earn it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I see, one of the biggest flaws that I see in a lot of these kids these days is they don't want to work. They don't really want to get out and gain and earn it. And that's just one of the biggest things. Now you see when kids earn and they focus and they work and they put in the effort, you see that they go on and do bigger and better things than a lot of the kids that don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I like to tell the kids when we're doing our mentoring program and our 7-on-7s and our camps is, don't just be where your feet are at the moment. I always focus on, the bigger common goal that, you need to set goals and guidelines for yourself and ultimately just focus on fulfilling those goals. Because if you stay stagnant and just, be content with where you are, you'll never gain. You'll never gain anything further more than where you are. So that's one of my biggest things that I like to leave on this newer generation.
Well, like I can't say it any better than that, man. As always, Cecil, man, I appreciate you. We call you Big 6'4", man.
Yes,
much
sir.
love, appreciation to you, man. As soon as have y'all already done like a soft launch for 309 Social or not? Or
yeah, it was actually this past weekend. Yeah. So
you
yeah,
start sending me the text message, man. Come on, man.
I know it, man. I'm gonna tap
back.
They
Flem, they don't even put me in the group chat, bro.
Nah, you're not getting that one. You ain't getting that.
I don't know why you
you the boys, man. But what you a year or two? You 2 years after us?
I'm 06. Yeah, I'm 06.
Yeah, you 2 years after us, man. So,
just like I can't get inside.
I still get to hang out at the party though. For
oh yeah, absolutely. Hey man, you earned your keeps, bro. When you home with us, brother. You know what I'm saying? You actually was you never did really. Even when you were a freshman, you didn't act like a freshman, man. You were always a lot more mature than, the average freshman that did come in, man. I think that's why guys like Reno kind of took you under their wing and kept you close, man. And obviously, man, the rest is history, brother.
Yeah. It was. Man, as always, like I said, if you want to connect with...
Cecil got some battles, Reno.
We'll get back to you later. As always, like I said, if you want to connect with Cecil, check it out with him on Instagram at CJ Newt _Jr. And then as always at their Fellowship ATL and then the new 309 Social ATL, man. Great vibes, great food.